G'day, this is Jason from Searching For. Today we're searching for gemstones, and this is the first video in the series, and we're going to be looking for sapphires or zircon in Sapphire Bend. Now Sapphire Bend is in the Vulcan State Forest in Black Springs, just south of Oberon, and I'm going to see if somewhere that has been done over quite a lot still produces gems.
Black Springs is south of Oberon, about 3-hour drive from Sydney. Here you'll find the Vulcan State Forest, where lots of different pastimes are taken up, such as mushrooming, believe it or not, hunting I've heard of, and prospecting. And there's even been a few sites of yowies apparently, not that I've seen any or believe it. When you do look around the public prospecting area, you'll notice that it looks like the gopher from Caddyshack has attacked it, and there's many holes everywhere. You'll also see a variety of fungi, and as I suggest, only pick and eat that which an expert with you has told you you can. But beyond those mushrooms, you'll find lots of holes like this, where people have been digging it out and getting their gravel to sift or sieve and find gemstones. Here looks like a wombat's been doing some of the work for people. It's either that or someone's got an amazing digging technique. So what you'll need is a spade with a sharp point at the tip and a pick to really get into that gravel that's quite hard, a gem sieve, pan, gumboots you'll notice, and buckets. The gumboots are a necessity. So when you walk down the main road coming off from the public prospecting sign, keep walking forward until you come out to a grassy clearing. This is where I've been digging for the sapphires that you see in the video, and here's the holes that I've been digging in. I didn't dig that whole area, I've just been scraping away at the edges where people have already dug into it, and you can see here how people have gone right under as far as they can go. Now, when you are digging for the sapphires, you'll notice that there's these layers that people have been following, and there's this gravel layer. You'll see it sort of got little bits in it. You'll have a lot of clay and earth above it, and then there'll be this hard part that when you hit with a pick, you can hear that it's solid, but then when you hit the earth with the pick, it's quite dull and soft. We want that gravel layer there.
So, been digging this area here, and it's been inconsistent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these buckets, and the far right bucket will be concentrating on this part, which is around a big granite boulder where you can see the clay seam has been dug at. We want to just get to the side of the boulder and down to the clay. Then here, where I've had some success, but not lately, then I'll start a fresh hole, because whoever's dug here hasn't actually got down to the clay at this point, so the gravel layer hasn't been touched, and I'll give that a try. So Sapphire Bend doesn't really have a lot of water. If there's been a bit of rain, you can use a puddle like I've found, where the road's been sort of carved out by four-wheel drives and the water's collected deep enough to actually pan in or sieve in. You'll see my remnants from when I was testing around the place. But if you can't actually find water here, you can actually fill your buckets and go down the road to a dam. It's not far from here. So hopefully you can see the pan. What I've done is put in about a shovelful. I've got the gold pan underneath, and what I'm doing is submersing it and breaking up the gravel, because you'll find that there's quite hard ground here in terms of that seam or river gravel seam that we've gone after, and we want to just break it down so that the smaller pieces sift through to the next one, so the 1/4 inch from this 1/8 of an inch, and then from there into the gold pan. So you have to really feel around and wipe off rocks. If you find a big rock, check it, toss it. They can get in the way of sieving. Another one. So I'll just check. No, still needs a bit more. I find lifting the sieve just into the surface of the water helps you find those bits that you've still got to break up. So I can see quartz in here. I think I can see some spinel. You do find nice quartz points here every once in a while. They're nice to keep as well. I'm just going to put that over for a moment. I'll now concentrate on this one, the 1/4 inch. Just trying to sift through anything. I don't really want the gold pan there while I sieve. Okay. So just carefully empty that. So you can see here, that's what's left. Now, this is good if you're going to get gold. I don't think there's much gold here, but it also helps you check if there's really tiny zircon or sapphire in here. You know that you're in the right spot. So, put these back together, and you basically vigorously turn side to side. So, just under the surface of the water. And what you're doing is you're pushing all the heavier things in the middle. So do that a few times. And then flatten it out by just under the surface of the water, going straight up and down. And then do it again. There's a few big rocks in here that I don't really need. I'll get rid of those. You can see there's still bits of gravel there that is stuck in the clay. I'll give it a rub. Do it again. Checking if there's any more clay. It's a bit. Generally in the really hard silt, you'll only really get gold. So the gems are sitting right on the surface of that layer. Very unusual to get something in this layer, but you never know. So what should happen is the gems should be somewhere in the center there. Oh. So what I'm doing is I'm going to keep going on top of this layer here and stack it up, because I can go back later and grab the middle, then sieve it again. So now I'm going to get the small sieve, the 1/4 inch, just get rid of these bits of grass. Okay, and same thing, except these move a bit easier. If you do see a gem, you may as well take it out when you see it, because sometimes you can miss them afterwards. So usually the heavier ones will be in the middle. All right, let's give this a go. So what we're going to concentrate on is this area in here. You'll see that it's a little bit darker, and that's because the ironstone and spinel have gathered there. They're the heavier parts. I prefer using tweezers just to move things around so that you don't quite lose bits, because when you stick your finger in, you sort of push things down. Now some blackish looking ones can actually be gems, so it's good to lift them to the light. Doesn't look like there was much luck in this lot. Spin out. But with all that black in the middle there, it shows I'm in the right spot. Just not lucky this time. All right, so just to show that we've got something here, we get the pan, go underneath, and what we want to do is just agitate without losing anything at the moment, because we want to move everything heavy to the bottom of the pan. Just going to empty that off a bit. So what you'll find is all the light stuff is just going to move quickly to the front. So tip. Just want to make sure it's all down. Okay. I'm going to start angling it a little bit just to move it into the corner. And this is really just a test. I'm not expecting anything major here. I won't knock back a gold nugget though. And when we tip it out, what you want to do is try and make sure this back area doesn't start going down the sides. And that's usually where heavy things get left as well when you're tipping. I'm being a bit aggressive with this because I just want to do a check. Start hearing lots of little stones moving backwards and forwards in here. Now I'm not going to keep doing the gold pan, this is just to test my area, more to demonstrate. So what you'll find is still need a lot out of there actually. You can see some zircon, which you may or may not be able to see on the camera here, but there's a little one there. Looks like a tiny sapphire there too, but I'll try and clean it up a bit more. There's still a lot of things I don't want in there. Lots of tiny zircon. I'm not sure if that's a sapphire. Don't think so. Unfortunately it's not very sunny today, so things don't show as easily. Try and get the biggest one. Not sure if you can see that, but tiny. There's up in the tailings there, you'll see there's these little red pieces that are the zircon. There's quite a few there, just no big ones. No gold either. Let's double check for that. So finding the heavier stuff, if you hit the pan, what happens is all the lighter stuff goes forward first, and you'll find that the heavier stuff sort of left in this area here. So the value of doing the test pan, we can see that there's a little sapphire there with some zircon. It's not big, but it tells me that I'm in the right spot. Well, that was obvious straight away. So just there, a nice sapphire. Very, very nice sapphire. Just put that in the pan for the moment. Okay, here's a pan I just completed. You can see a little quartz point there. Gonna have to check out some of those rocks that look blue, but I don't think they're sapphires. But what I do know is that is definitely zircon. Quite a few there, which is really good. Quite promising. So here's a weird thing that was found. I don't know whether that's silver or lead. You can see there. It was sitting right in the middle next to a zircon. Those stones that are blue, they look blue because they're reflecting the sky. They're not actually sapphires, but you do check them. You can see the zircon there though. And this was the second hole, the first pan. Pretty obvious when you get one. So what may have looked blue earlier in the footage there, you'll notice once I come across the sapphire, it stands out. I'm starting to think I should be meeting aliens or something. Looks very much like Devil's Mountain from Close Encounters. So I've returned home, and what you'll see here is my takings. On the left is day one, so I did that before I was filming, and you can see I was quite successful, particularly with zircon. And on the right is day two. So having a little look closer at it, here's our sapphires. Now the sapphires are varying quality, and some of these stones, particularly in the zircon as well, may look black, but when you hold it up to light, there's this very deep orange. And this one took me a while to realize it was a zircon, but then when you hold it up to the light, it becomes really obvious. I then got this strange one, which hopefully we can see there. It's got a zirconish colour at one side and then a light coloured on the other. So I'm not sure if it's zircon or quartz. Then these are the ones that you saw some of the sapphires showing up. And more zircon. That's quite a large one, that one. Very nice. So you can see next to my finger. Then down here is what I am going to assume is a ball bearing. So in the 70s they had slug guns, and probably into the 80s, and that's where they used to shoot ball bearings like an air rifle. And I'm wondering whether someone went out there shooting at rabbits or something like that with their BB gun. I also found a coin that was dated in the 70s, a 1 cent piece. I didn't bother keeping that, I still have lots of those. So it shows the ground is sort of turned over and mixing. So I guess the conclusion is Sapphire Bend still delivers sapphires. I hope you enjoyed this. This is my first go at doing one of these types of videos, so I hope it works out well, and if you like it, comment. You can tell me what that sort of binary coloured red and white gem was, or even give me some tips and tricks if I was to go back there again. I'm a constant learner. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode.